This influences my thinking and consequently my actions. People dislike me because I'm not completely like them. And in what way are you different?
Hello, welcome everyone. It has been a while since I've streamed. I apologize. I've got a lot going on. It hasn't even been that long. It just seems like a lot longer, I guess. So a couple of preliminary things out of the way first. Those of you who have asked about my daughter, she's doing much better. She was feeling like crap. It's the coof. But she does people watching over her. She's got plenty of liquids, ibuprofen, and she seems to be doing a lot better. So the worst has passed, so to speak. She has been vaxxed twice. So obviously, I think that's a huge thing. I think the people that don't get vaxxed are taking their life in their hands, because the odds of them catching it are pretty strong, and the odds of it being pretty bad if they're not vaxxed are pretty high as well. So anyways, thank you for that. Let's see. So second of all, I want you guys to see my new thing here. If you guys can notice this, anybody in the live chat knows what this symbol is, let me know. I mean, I know what it is because I got it, but what do you guys think of this new symbol? Can you guys see it? It's kind of hard to see. It's really small, but can you, there, is that better? Yeah. So let's see if anybody in my audience is smart and can figure out what that symbol is. I'll be impressed. But anyways, welcome to the Devil's Chat. This is where I go over and talk about certain things of problematic YouTube creators, I guess, so to speak, among other things. I normally do it with EK People Suck. However, Erin is unavailable today, and I was too lazy to take her out of the intro, so she gets a credit. You know, one of those episodic things where you have shows and the main characters don't appear in a particular episode, but they still get credit? That's this one. So I'm going to give Erin, what do they call it? Where do they go? There's a name for it too, isn't there? When you credit something, they're not actually in the episode. Uncredited, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, I will update that later if somebody else wants to start doing it. But I want to do these with Erin. Erin's fun to do Devil's Chat with. We are going to be doing one later on. I'm going to be going over the letter that we had sent, my attorney actually sent to a Greensboro detective when it came to Kyle Curtis's perjury and embezzlement charges. They are going to be looking at it again. They have been turning it over to the DA, so no promises. It's one of those things, hope for the best, expect the worst, but the detective did get back to me. He did remember the conversation. He said, because there is reasons to pursue this. He did turn it over to the DA and said, let the DA take care of it, and then they'll get back to me on it. But he was interested in it, so he did remember. So we'll go from there. You can't see the symbol? Can you? It's really small, so you got to be on like a black background, like my shirt. There you go. Maybe you can see it there. But anyways, you guys aren't here for that. So let's kind of dive into this. So long story short, somebody had sent me these clips of Katie Joy trying to rewrite history and Katie Joy trying to spew nonsense to her her subs. And I'm just sick of that shit. I haven't talked about Katie that much because she just is so evil that I'm letting other people kind of like talk about her. Renelle. I know that Ellie Leslie Bass, she's been talking about her recently again. I know that Mary, what's the other name? Molly Golightly, she's been talking about her. And so, you know, I don't really say much because people already know my story. My story's out there. It's been out there for ages. If they're not familiar with my story, then I don't know what to I don't know what to do because I mean I was the original OG, the original one of the original victims of Katie. So I go way back. As a matter of fact, it wasn't for my show, the Non Sequitur show, Katie Joy wouldn't even have a platform. It was Bullinator, my producer, who is no longer with us, that actually helped Katie start her channel. So yes, blame me for that. I take the hit for it. I apologize many times to the community, and I'm profusely sorry for having anything to do with that, but I never liked her to begin with. It wasn't my idea. It was Kyle. Blame him for everything anyways. So, but I see that she's trying to rewrite history, and I'm not going to let her get away with that. That's bullshit. I can tell you right now, 95% of everything that comes out of that woman's mouth is an absolute lie. If she can't find dirt on people, she'll just make it up. And so she's been doing that, I guess, recently when it came to this Von McRae situation, which is a very, very sad situation. And I don't have all the details, and I don't feel proper to even talk about it because I don't have enough details to talk about it. If you want to know more about it, the situation with Von McRae, then go over to Renelle's channel. She's been doing some videos on it. But it's heartbreaking. I absolutely believe that Katie Joy is being a trauma vulture. She is trying to, once again, interject herself in a story that has nothing to do with her in order to profit from it. And it's all she's ever done. She goes from community to community to do this. And so she's doing it now. Unfortunately, she's going after an African-American mother. And it just blows my mind that she thinks that people aren't going to be noticing this. But then again, she doesn't care. Here's the facts about Katie. I'm just going to lay it on the line. She doesn't care. I adore Renelle. Renelle, I think you're one of the sweetest women I've ever seen on YouTube. Matter of fact, you're too nice. You're too nice for YouTube, Renelle. And I'm gonna give you a little bit of just blunt Steve speak. She's not gonna give a shit what you say to her. She's not gonna take any of your advice. I know that you're very sincere. I know Renelle really means this. She wants Katie to do better. It cannot happen. It is a metaphysical impossibility. She is unable to do certain things because she doesn't have the same processing that you and I have. So when Renelle's telling Katie that she needs to stop harassing a grieving mother and a grieving family, all that is to Katie is basically narcissistic supply. That is her accolations that she's doing something right in her mind's eye because people are taking notice of her. That's all she cares about. That's it. And I will stand by that to the day I die. And so Renelle, I adore you, but you're all the niceties that you're giving to her are being wasted. Absolutely wasted. So, but you know what? I can't fault her. I mean, Renelle is just a sweet person, and that is her nature, right? She's not doing it for any other purpose other than that is her true nature. And so I got to say, do you? But I'm not like that. Jesus forgives. I don't. And I will never forgive Katie Joy for the hell she put me through and the other people that I know through. Tina and Aaron and Reds and a whole bunch of other people that she decided just to, I'm going to make shit up about them. And, what are they going to do? So, anyways, I thought we'd go over these messages. Like I said, somebody sent them to me, and they were really good. Skeptic says that maybe she needs to be sued for $40 million like Alex Jones. I just heard that Alex Jones won $45 million, but I think they're capped in that state for $750,000 punitive damage per plaintiff, if I'm not mistaken. So I think those two plaintiffs, he's only out like $1.5 million or something. But that's a funny story. That's for another episode, though, because that lawyer sending the opposition all of Alex Jones' phone messages and caught him in a bull-faced lie was pretty damning. But anyways, so let's dive into this. If you guys want to join, the link to join is in the video description. No, I'm sorry, it's in the live chat. Put it in the live chat. But you can come on in and weigh in. I don't mind at all. I like to get your guys' opinions, but I think most of you guys probably know about this already. But what you don't know is the things she wrote in here, which are absolute 100% false. So this is not in any particular order. I tried to get them in sequential order as much as I could. Unfortunately, there's just a lot of them, and it was just time consuming, and so it may go a little out of order, and I apologize. All right, so let's dive into this. So this was posted on Without a Crystal Ball's account, I believe today. I think this was 3 hours ago, if I'm not mistaken, give or take, whatever it was. And she says, today I want to share a few things about myself. First of all, nobody cares anything about you. Nobody cares about Katie Joy besides like 80% hate watching. The small amount of following she has, I have got to believe, don't know anything about her past and just don't want to, because it's out there and they haven't gone looking for it and they just probably don't care. But yeah, she's not going to share anything of any interest about herself, and if what she does share is going to be highly exaggerated and probably just an outright lie. She says, the recent story that I have covered has welcomed a new audience. That's what she's for. I mean, she's straight up on that. I mean, you can get insight into the mind of Katie Joy by how she writes. And this is very telling, right? I mean, she's already talking about herself. She's very, very narcissistic. So it's all about me, I, right? And so right here, the very second sentence, that she was covering the story, she has welcomed a new audience. By covering the story, she's got a new subscribers. Simple as that. And that's a fact. That's an absolute fact. And that's what she's pointing out. But that's what she's about. And she says, some people believe that I've harmed people. Oh, it's more than just believed. This is a knowledge. This is a knowledge claim. I have absolute certainty that she harmed me. I have absolute certainty that she has harmed Tina. I have absolute certainty that she has harmed many content creators. Certainty applies knowledge applies belief. So it's more than just believe. Don't minimize it by just saying, oh, people believe that I've harmed people. No, we know that Katie Joy has harmed people. We have the facts to prove it. We have the messages. We have the how many times has she done background checks on people when it says in there, don't use these background checks to go after people. Don't use them maliciously or harassing. And she does. That's harming people. Making false allegations about people are harming people. Saying people that have tried to kill their children is harming people. Not just once, but twice. She did it with the Taddy Westbrook case when it came to with James. Didn't she, if I'm not mistaken, claim that he tried to kill his mother by taking her off life support, basically? Oh, I'm just drinking coffee. This is straight coffee. So yes, it is more than just belief. Don't try to minimize it. Don't let her get away with minimizing that. People know that she has harmed people. I can tell you right now, there's a list of at least 40 names of people that will claim that she has harmed them. So Suzanne is salty is in the live chat. She has harmed her. She has plagiarized from her. So no, this is not a pentagram. So anyways, yeah, so you guys didn't figure out. No, this is symbol for Ghost BC, the band. They're called Ghost now, but they were originally called Ghost BC. It's actually a G and a C put together on a cross. Pretty cool, right? I want to get a Ghost shirt, but I haven't found one that really works for me yet. I'm a huge fan of Ghost. Yes, they are a satanic metal band. Well, they're not metal. I mean, they're not metal. They're satanic, fictitiously satanic. But they were one of my favorite all-time bands. All right, let's go on here. So she says, YouTube creators are sending their friends out to spam my followers and message them about lies about me. Who's doing this? I got my ear to the ground on a lot of things. I have not seen a single solitary YouTube creator do this. If there is, point them out to me, and I will myself denounce them. Okay? Do not go sending people after people. Hang on one second. Let me fix this mic. Okay, there we go. Yeah, don't be doing that. So, I'd like to know the name of that person and she never names, right? She never says who's doing this, and she never has evidence if she does, right? So, yeah, I've not seen this. I don't know who spams her followers. Nobody goes after her followers. If followers are out there and they put something on Twitter, I don't think she wants people talking about stuff on Twitter, because when a follower goes on Twitter, it's harder for her to control the narrative, right? She can block people on YouTube. She can block people on Facebook. She can block people on Instagram, which I don't know if she can even stream to Instagram any longer. But you can't block people on Twitter, at least for them to reply in some capacity, right? And so when people are asking about her on Twitter, people will give them the information they request. And I think that really bothers her. So I don't know who these fictitious creators are. If any of you would like to know their names, well, I guess ask. But oh yeah, Without a Crystal Ball says, don't forget she actually called him a career criminal too. Yes, that's one of the things she loves to do. She loves pointing out people's backgrounds. And by the way, Brandon, you're got a heavy mic thing. By the way, welcome, Brandon. Hi.
Hey, what up, man? Heavy mic, like background noise?
No, just breathing into the mic. That's all.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's cool. It's cool, bud. It is open forum, so people can come on in. Okay, so yeah, I don't know why people don't ask these questions. Like, who are you referring to? Because again, there's been no evidence of this whatsoever, and they're not spending them lies. Now, I'm not saying that there haven't been people that do that as far as lies or things of that nature. Yeah, the Katie Joy or the anti-Katie Joy community is pretty bad, and not all of them are as honest and upright as they should be. But I would say that 95% of the stuff they put out about her is probably true. Okay, so anybody that is lying out there, stop it. There's so much crap out there. You don't need to be dishonest. You don't need to go after people and go down to their level. Don't sink to Katie's Joy level. This is one thing that Tina and I have been always trying to tell people. Don't use their methods. Don't use their sycophant going after people, because that's not how you expose somebody for lying. It's not how you expose somebody for harming other content creators. That's not how you do it. You do it fairly, you do it justly, and you just use their own words against them, like we're doing. Especially when we know for a fact that this is already started off and it already contains lies in it, right? Because nobody is out there just, oh, we're going to go out and sending friends after to spam people. Again, I've never seen this happen. Brandon, have you seen it happen?
No, not at all. And yeah, I've been around for the beginning of it too, pretty much.
You've been around a long time. Has anybody in my live chat seen that? Again, let me know. Come on in. Tell me. Stick up for her. If you want to defend her and say, yes, I've seen people going after this, give me those people's names. I will denounce them. Okay?
The anti-KJ community was, at first, I thought was doing good work, but it did turn toxic.
Oh, yeah. They're very toxic. The anti-Katie Joy community is very toxic, and I never really wanted to have anything to do with most of them. Now, there are a few of them I do like. They're like Without a Crystal Balls. I like her. She's in my live chat. I would say Suzanne is maybe in the anti-Katie Joy crowd somewhat. And of course, I'm a huge fan of her. But for the most part, the rest of them are just as nutty as she is. All right. She says, continued, all these messages are false. Really? Okay. Here's what they want you to believe about me. Okay, let's dive into this. And by the way, I've only read through these about once, so I'm doing this on the fly. I don't like to really plan ahead on these chats. I like to just do it organically and see what happens, come what may, right? They said, they claim I have Munchausen by proxy and have fabricated my son's diagnosis or exaggerated his illness. Okay, let's talk about this. This came up years ago when Leslie Bass had said that Katie Joy had Munchausen by proxy. And I said, no, according to what I've read on MVP, she doesn't seem to have it. Now, Katie Joy absolutely lied and said that I said she had MVP. Of course, she never produced any evidence for that because it never happened. Everybody who remembers historically the story when Leslie Bass was putting this out, I was the one to actually not defending Katie, but basically saying, no, I don't see it as Munchausen by proxy. Okay, but then later on, people were saying, hey, there's some other things about Munchausen by proxy, which she might actually have, and that might be the case. However, she's certainly not harming her child. That's definitely not the case there. Now, as far as like exaggerating his illnesses, all people have been pointing out is that there's a list of all the medical things she's ever said about her kid. Okay, and it's extensive. And some people were just saying that all these things are incongruent with each other. It would just not be feasible for have all these different things in one person. It just medically not sound. And so that's the reason why they were like, okay, what's the story really? Because in one blog she says this, and another blog she says this, and then she takes it back and says, oh, it wasn't this, and then she says, oh, it was this. I mean, this is what they're questioning, right? Nobody's ever said, and this is what she lied about me too. She said that I said that she said that I said to her that she was fabricating illnesses with her son. That's never what I said, and I certainly never said her son didn't have illness when he was very, very young. Again, she took what I was saying to try to defame me by saying, oh, Steve says that I'm lying about what my child's disabilities and things of that nature, which never happened. But it was to her audience, right? Her audience is all she cares about to get them to believe. So this is what she's trying to do. She's trying to control that narrative to say, oh, look, all these people are saying that my son was never sick. Well, no, everybody knows her son was ill and still has, challenges. But I have never seen, not once has anybody gone after that child. Not once. Not Todd Chrisley, not myself. Nobody has gone after that child. And yet she is keep using her child as a defense. As a matter of fact, it was a huge thing back when she had filed a false TRO against me and two other people. And I had sent my lawyer the list of all the things that she had said about her child, and he said, do you have citations for every one of these? And I said, yes. And I put together and I compiled a citation of every one of them. And she lied on her TRO and said, oh, Steve released my son's medical records. That was an outright lie. For one, how would I get anybody's medical records? Right? And two, all I did was reiterate what she's already said about her own child. That's not releasing somebody's medical records. There's a huge difference. But this is how she manipulates the narrative so she can make it sound 10 times 1,000 more worse than it actually is, right? What's worse, saying, oh, Steve or somebody made a list of all the things I've ever said about my child. Okay, so what? Nothing wrong about that. As opposed to, oh, Steve released medical records of my child. Those are vastly different things. Vastly different things. So as far as like her having Munchausen by proxy, I'm agnostic on it at this point. But I've never said she had it. Okay, which again, she lied and said that I said that. I don't think she fabricates as much as exaggerates. Yes, she again. I don't believe anything about this woman. I not without my own seeing with my own two eyes. But I don't care. I'm not interested in her son's maladies. I hope the best for him, and I want him to have a happy and productive life. Unfortunately, having a mother like that, I don't know how that's going to happen. But we all have to have faith that he's going to be okay. But the point was that they had people looking at all these things she said about her child and running all these fundraisers. Yeah, it was questionable. It was questionable. And it should be questionable because I've talked to people that know about medicine and they said, yeah, these things are just like incongruent with each other. There's just so many different things. Okay. So yes, they do claim that part is true. But as far as like fabricating, I don't know. I mean, again, I think that she like WebMD stuff, or I think that maybe she, what I think is this. I really think of this. I don't think she WebMD. I think she does this. I think a doctor says it might be this, this, and this, and that's what she puts out. So if she gets 5 different diagnoses, she'll say, oh, it's these 5 different things. Again, personal belief. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it. But anybody who's looked into it will probably agree. Yeah, when you have dozens of maladies. That might be a problem, okay? So she goes on to say, fact, I do not have MPP, Munchausen by proxy. Well, I don't know if that's a fact. I don't know if she's ever been diagnosed for it, And she says, a stalker and a convicted felon have reported me to CPS no less than 7 times over this claim. I don't think that was why she was reported. I only know of 1 or 2 times she was reported to CPS. And again, she used that term stalker. Who's stalking Katie? Nobody's stalking Katie. Nobody gives a shit to stalk Katie, okay? Going over social media, reporting on things or commentating, that's not stalking. You want to know what's stalking? Having somebody like for 2 years go after you on things that you never did and do deep dives on you and basically go in real life by calling people around you and calling friends and family or calling work related stuff or that's stalkish. So, yeah, I don't think it was 7 times, but it wouldn't be over MVP anyways. That's not what they were. That's not what they were called. I remember the first time there was something to do with AZ, but that had nothing to do with Munchausen by proxy. So I don't know where she came up with that from. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, a rumor started by a woman I knew when my son was a toddler. I don't know who that woman is. This is false. The CPS came to our home over the false claim for Munchausen by proxy and child abuse, and all claims were closed because they were false. I don't think there was any reason to call CPS. I think that was pretty stupid. I think that anybody who did that was not thinking. It just gave her a victim narrative to do. Don't go in real life like that. Unless you see physical abuse. Now, if you saw somebody strike their kid on camera, then you have some reasons, right? But other than that, you don't know fuck all what's going on. You really don't. You're just kind of guessing. You're just projecting you want this to be problems. But you can't do that. You have to go by facts and evidence. And if you don't go by facts and evidence, and when people go in real life and they make these false phone calls, all it does is feed into their persecution, right? I mean, I've had people call Medi-Cal, I've had people call the FBI, I've had people call No, it was the FBI and medical. That was 2. And of course, they didn't report anything. I asked the person, well, what'd you report? Oh, well, just what Kyle told me. Yeah, that's what the FBI and medical want to hear. Oh, some guy told me this. It's called hearsay. So you have no evidence of anything. No shit. Yeah, I swear to God, that's how the conversation went. And so, whenever you call and you make these false allegations, it doesn't help you. It makes you look like an idiot. Stop it. And they said, yeah, the same stalker called CPS and said my husband punched my son in the face, which was also false. Yeah, I look, I will absolutely go on record. I don't think for a second anybody has hurt that kid or punched that kid. That's just ridiculous. If you think that, you've gone so far in the deep end. Okay, stop trying to make things like more horrific than they already are. There is enough shit out there on Katie Joy where you do not have to make shit up where you don't have the evidence to support it. Stop it. You know? Yeah, Without a Crystal Ball points this out. She said, well, her story changes every single time. What happened to it being AZ's fault? Exactly. This story has now changed. This is not the original narrative. This is not the first iteration of this. This is, well, actually, it'd be the second or third iteration, but this isn't the original. The original was AZ on her live stream, I guess, heard something. She got with Little Miss Noble and Miss Psycho from UK, and they called CPS on her. That actually did happen. Okay. I've seen that report. That actually did occur. You know? So how did that get into this? And who's the woman I knew since her son was a toddler? Who's that? And so how did that start from AZ's live chat to Little Miss Noble and UK Stalker? Excuse me. Who, I mean, I'm going to call her Stalker. If this is the Stalker she's referring to, yeah, okay. I'll grant her that UK Stalker is a stalker, but I don't think that's who she's referring to here. Is she? I really don't know. Again, trying to figure out what the hell she's talking about is very difficult when I already know the facts. And the facts are, this was originally from AZ. So how did it morph into this? Anybody got a clue on that? If you have any ideas, come on in and let me know. The link is pinned to the top. I really am curious how this is the second or third derivation of this particular story. But Without Crystal Balls, you are exactly right. That is the original story, yes. She says, fact, I was swatted by the same group no less than 4 times last summer and fall. That's not what she was never swatted. She doesn't know what swatting is. Having the police come over to your house, you know, hey, knocking on your door saying, hey, we need, you know, we'd like to talk to you. That's not swatting. Swatting is when they break down your door. They come in, you know, no knock warrant. They come in guns a-blazing. That's swatting. She was never swatted. She was never at gunpoint. Nobody's ever pulled a weapon. Okay, she was just, people had just called the police for a variety of really stupid reasons. Calling CPS is dirty without direct observation or a child's confession. Absolutely. If you ever call CPS on somebody, you're just as bad as Katie Joy if you don't have absolute evidence. If you don't have direct observation or a child's confession, absolutely, you are just as dirty as she is. And yet, she was trying to say that I was some kind of ringleader, that I was getting people to call that. Yet, there's not been a single person ever that's corroborated that. Why? Because it's never happened. Not once. I am against those things. And for her to try to turn it and try to say that I was telling people to do that, go fuck yourself, because that never happened. Then she goes on and says, fact, the stalkers were arrested in England. Okay, so she is talking about the UK stalker, but why is there stalkers? Who's the plural? The stalkers were arrested in England. First of all, there was only one. And second of all, I'll be honest. I'm going to tell you straight out. I don't know if she was actually arrested. I'm not convinced she was arrested. There's some reasons why I think that way. Hopefully I'm wrong, but it's not, the dots are not being put together for me. So I'm not convinced that she's been arrested. Who knows? So I'm going to be agnostic on that. I'm not saying she was. I'm not saying she wasn't. I am just not convinced. Okay. There's some reasons to highly question some of the things that have been going on. But why is it stalkers? Who's the second one or more? Plural. Again, how does one stalker go to multiples in England? She said she fabricated child porn on my son's image and emailed them people. Again, I don't know the whole details on that. I know that she did it with EKC People Suck, and she did it with Michael Saltz, Dottie Westbrook's lawyer. But when they went to go investigate it, they said it didn't reach the standard of that for CP, and so they were putting it under maybe harassment. Now, again, I'm not a legal person. But my opinion of what constitutes CP doesn't matter. I could think it is, but I'm not a law person. I can't press charges for that. So If she could press charges on it, sure. And I think EKC, she tried looking into it, I guess, or she found out by asking a cop friend that the way it was done doesn't constitute CP, but is harassment? Absolutely. Do I think it's CP? Sure. But I don't. Okay, so I have to be very careful here. I do think it's CP, and the reason being so, even though it doesn't have any. See, I didn't see the images. I'm just going by what they've said, right? And that's the problem. I would never want to see them, obviously, but I've never seen any of these images, so I don't know. Other than it was just some face put to some body, is from what I understand. And so they were saying, they were saying the person that Aaron had talked to had said that it probably doesn't reach that level. That's what I want to get clear. So I'm not saying that. They said that. Because I know a lot of people are taking that out of context, and people are going after Aaron and saying, oh, well, Aaron doesn't think it's people, blah, blah. It doesn't matter what she thinks or not when it comes to that. But they were going after her pretty hard because she had her own opinion on it, with different than everybody else's. So what? She's allowed to have that opinion. And then she said, she also created CP images of Toddy Westbrook lawyer's children, which I've already mentioned. She, along with 2 others, were investigated by the FBI. Yeah, that part is all true. As far as that. That part is true. Fact, a convicted felon who helped spread the story wide through his podcast. Well, that's how she puts it out there. A convicted felon, right? To try to obviously, minimize the fact that she had slandered him. The fact that she had slandered and defamed Todd Chrisley has no relevancy to his tax problems. Was he convicted? Yes, 12 counts. Is he appealing? Yes, from what I understand. But she's obviously trying to diminish these people's credibility. Now, obviously, the UK person has no credibility. She can say 1 + 1 = 2, and I'm going to break out a calculator. She has zero credibility. Todd, I still think he has a chance for appealing his conviction, maybe. But that doesn't matter. It still is that he was defamed by Katie. Katie had said that she had a source inside his show, Christy Knows Best, that had told her certain things, like they believed her, and that she was putting out this narrative that Todd Chrisley was trying to blackmail his daughter that by saying that he had a sex tape that his son Chris had bought for $5,000, and if his daughter Savannah didn't play ball, so to speak, with the FBI investigation on his criminal investigation for his tax evasion, he would release the tape. Now, all that was bullshit. None of that ever happened. No, it wasn't with Savannah. It was the other one. It was Leslie? Is that her name? What was his other daughter's name? I forget. But she said it never happened. And she completely denounced everything that Katie Jo was saying. She kind of reconciled, I guess, with her dad a little bit again. But there was no evidence of that tape existing. There's certainly no evidence, even if it had existing, of Todd Chrisley having anything to do with it or blackmailing her, right? So that was defamatory. And so when she says she has a source, Todd Chrisley's lawyer had said, okay, we need that source. And she's trying to hide behind some kind of journalistic shield, saying, well, I can't really reveal my sources. One, no such shield exists like that for her. She's a YouTuber. She's not a journalist. Even if she was a journalist, it doesn't really work like that. And two, she doesn't know the name of the source. And so she gets this anonymous phone call saying that they're a producer or somebody who works for the show, Christy Knows Best. And she's going to run with that and say, oh, yeah, this person called me and they confirmed everything, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's slanderous if you don't do your due diligence. It's reckless. It's malice. It reaches the status of malice because in order for Todd to win his case, he has to show that she acted recklessly, which would be constitutive of malice. So, yes, malice can be determined many different ways. One of them is recklessness. And her not getting the name of a person that she's using to say that Todd did these things, that's definitely reckless, But the problem is I don't think she has a source. I still don't think she has a source. I am convinced she doesn't have a source. If she does have a source, I will come on the channel and say I apologize. I got that one completely wrong. But I am absolutely convinced at this point she has no source and she won't be able to produce one. And she's going to have to do either a couple different things. One, admit she never had a source, which we know a narcissist can't do. A narcissist really cannot admit that they lied. We found that out with Kyle. We found that out with Amber Heard. A narcissist will continue to lie until they die. That's it. It's very difficult for a narcissist to tell the truth about anything besides some minor thing that doesn't have any relevancy to anything. But anything like this is a big picture where she'd just be like screwed royally if she admitted that she lied about having a source. I don't think she can do. She would rather go to jail. I just don't think she can admit to it. So that option to me is pretty much effectively off the table. If she did, I'd be impressed. It certainly would be counter to what a malignant narcissist would do, but it could happen. Doesn't mean she's still not a narcissist. It just means that she got so rock bottom she had no choice, like, to admit that she lied. But even look at Amber Heard. Amber Heard got bold-faced called out on her defamation and her perjury, and she still hasn't admitted the truth. She's still lying about it. Look at Kyle. Kyle got bold-faced, caught red-handed, lying to the court, submitting false evidence, perjuring his depositions. These are unequivocal facts. He still hasn't admitted to it. So I just can't see her admitting that she didn't ever have a source. The other options would be she basically just loses the case. You know, she doesn't give him a source. She just says, look, and this is, I think, the sword she's more likely to fall on and say, look, I'm not going to give up the source, and therefore any judgment against me, I'm just standing up for my journalistic integrity. Watch. That's what I can see her doing. All right, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ignore the live chat. April says, my personal opinion is Katie Joy Paulson should be tied in a sack and hurled into a river, and the river should be hurled in the sun, and the sun be hurled into a black hole. That's called hyperbole, okay, by the way. That's not a death threat, okay? That's not a death threat. That's called hyperbole. She will take anything like that as a death threat. But that's not a death threat. That's just hyperbole. And then let's see here. April says, I would be okay if we never spoke of her again. Yeah, I got no problem with that either. Trust me. But the problem is that it's hard when she has a large platform and she does get new followers. Whenever she gets involved in another community, the Gabby Petito case, the Taddy Westbrook case, all these communities she gets herself into, she gets new followers out of her, from them. And so these things keep coming up. And what they are is just completely reiterating what we all have said. And so if people do want to go find the truth, they can. And then she says, the FBI and police identified the parties involved. One was arrested, another confessed to filing a false police report with the police. Yes, that part is true, but she said she had 2 stalkers in England. Who was the second one? Because the other one wasn't in England. She was from America, and she wasn't a stalker. But yes, they'd filed a false police report. That part is true. Again, stupid. It was dumb, and it just gave her, persecution porn that she could use. She could use this as a narrative now, a shield, which is exactly what she's doing. It's her advantage, right? April Von Ryan for 750 Canadian says, can we at least call her that witch shall not be named so she doesn't get all this free publicity? At this point, it doesn't matter. It's not. Look, she's already got a huge channel. I've got a very low channel, so I don't have that many subs compared to her, obviously. So yeah, it's not really publicity. Now, if it was a bigger name channel, then yeah, you might have a point, April, right? If I had like 1 million subs, I wouldn't mention her name. People just know who she is at that point, right? She says, fact, a convicted felon helped spread the story wide through his podcast. I think I go back here. I told you these are not in order, so hang on. Had all these podcasts been moved by his podcast provider who we sued for defamation? They're still on Apple One. I checked. And by the way, her lawsuit is being reviewed to see if it's going to get thrown out. It's still under review. And it's frivolous. Everything she said in that lawsuit against Todd is frivolous. Matter of fact, she's talking about frivolous lawsuits. She's projecting. Her countersuits are frivolous. Her countersuit against me, frivolous. Her countersuit against Todd, frivolous. Her countersuit against 7M, frivolous. It's just, she thinks, I'm just going to do a countersuit. She doesn't realize that requires evidence at some point. She doesn't care. She doesn't think it's going to get that far. She thinks Todd Chrisley is going to drop it because he's, he's convicted for tax evasion, and therefore he's going to drop the lawsuit. I don't see that happening, and he doesn't get sentenced until September, and her motion to get ruled on I believe, is sometime this month, right? I think it's like the 23rd of August, isn't it? Or it could be the 7th. One of them does. I think both of them actually do, right? So, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. But I don't think the podcasts were removed because I just went to Apple One and they're still there. Without Crystal Ball says, haha, Katie just made a post saying she's going to sue CC Suarez for covering her. Who's CC Suarez? I don't know who that is. Well, I mean, again, she's very litigious, right? I mean, she thinks that anybody who covers her can be sued. Okay? But these are all fair commentary. Again, you're allowed to comment on people. You're allowed to. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you're telling the truth and as long as you're not slandering, you're not violating TOS, which I've never done. I've never had a single violation of TOS. You're allowed to do that. But she doesn't want people be iterating these things because she doesn't want her followers to know about these things. That's it. She's trying to silence people. That's it. She tried to silence me for a year with a NDA for my TRO. And I was silenced, even though I could still do commentary. That was another misinformation that was out there. People had said, oh, Steve can't do commentary on Katie for a year. Bullshit. Of course I could. I even read out the TRO. So people got that wrong, right? Because, again, here's the thing that people do not understand. If you do not have the facts, shut the fuck up. Don't put out misinformation. Don't extrapolate. You're allowed to give your opinion. That's fine. Say, yes, my opinion, Steve can't do this. Okay, whatever, fine, whatever. But they stated it as fact. And that was wrong. Don't say things as fact if you don't know them as fact. And then if you do say things as fact and you get your facts wrong, correct them. That's one thing that Katie will never do. I will correct my facts. If I say something as a fact and I get it wrong, I will correct it. That's how you know you'll always get the most updated, correct information from this channel and from me, is that if I get something wrong, I will fix it. Keep Milwaukee says, not just frivolous and vexatious. Absolutely vexatious. Yeah, matter of fact, I think there's going to be eventually something along the lines of what's called vexatious litigation after her, because she's using that the legal system to silence critics, and I think eventually it's going to bite her in the ass. Yeah. April says, we have 42 people watching. We could tell 2 friends, and our friends would tell 2 friends, so I would tell the world. Well, yeah, I would love that, but unfortunately that never happens. Matter of fact, one thing that I've noticed for years on this channel, when I've asked people to get the information out, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. But we'll try. We'll try, April. Look, go tell 2 friends. Go tell 2 friends on Facebook. Actually, you know what? Make it 5 friends. Make it 10 friends. Let's make it and then blow from there. 10 friends. Go tell 10 friends to watch this video. And watch, actually make not just this video, but watch Brunel's video, and watch Suzanne's videos. It doesn't even have to be a specific video, just the channel. Right? Because it's not just me, it's other content creators she's harmed, and they need to be given airtime as well. They need to be giving publicity as well. So, all right, so let's move on here. I don't see the podcast being removed. If somebody wants to check on that, that's fine. But like I said, I went to Apple One today, and they're still there. And why would they remove them? He's still appealing. He's in their only house arrest. They don't even know if he's going to, what the sentencing is yet. The sentencing is not till September. April says, I don't have 10 friends. That's depressing. Well, you know what? You have 1 friend with me, so that matters. CPS no longer responds to any calls about my son from the internet or phone complaints from people who don't know us due to their findings. And I can get that. I can understand that. That might be actually true. Unless they have actual, physical evidence. You send them a video, something like that. But again, that's not going to happen. There's no reason for that. Suzanne says, thanks, Steve. Stealing my story was the worst. Right, and people need to know about that. She plagiarizes. She has plagiarized not just Suzanne, but she's plagiarized many other people. She had a problem with The Sun. She had a problem with the Ashley report. She basically scours the internet, Reddits, and the news, and she just basically takes that and then makes it her own content. She recycles it, and that's been called out so many times. She did it with The Sun the other day. She actually took the exact headline and part of the thumbnail and put it in her video, from what I understand. And by the way, this is no Hate Watch August. I haven't hate watched anybody. Hopefully you guys are not hate watching Katie. Let Llama Girl do it, right? Should take one from the team. Okay, so that probably is true. The sheriff's office no longer files any complaints as to their findings about the online harassment, and that might be true. Yeah, I don't doubt that. 2, they claim that I've been sued multiple times. Well, she has been. 3 so far have actually gone to litigation. Or not to litigation, I'm sorry, but have gone to being filed. In fact, I was sued unsuccessfully by Toddy Westbrook. Again, she's trying to play this up. Like, oh, Toddy sued me, but I won. She didn't win a lawsuit. She did not win. What happened was there was a jurisdiction problem, and it got thrown out for jurisdiction issues, and Toddy decided not to refile because Toddy got what she wanted. She wanted information on Charles Swanson from Katie. She got that. She was done. Which I consider a win to Toddy, but yeah. So she's, again, one thing about Katie, you have to really pay attention to her wording. I was sued unsuccessfully by Toddy. She's trying to make it appear that she won. Oh, I beat this huge 9 million sub content creator Toddy. That's not what happened. Again, read into what she writes because this is how she operates. The lawsuit was dismissed in Washington. That's true. After our lawyers met, we agreed to settle as we both intended to file lawsuits against each other. She had no lawsuit against Toddy. Toddy didn't do anything against her. Again, frivolous and vexatious. The settlement revealed that I did not defame Toddy Westbrook or her husband. That's not that. No, I want to see evidence of that. I think what she's referring to, that is in any settlement agreement, there's usually a clause that says person doesn't assume there's admitting no liability, right? Such and such does not admit any liability. That's pro forma in any settlement agreement, from what I understand. The settlement agreement that I had with Kyle, it's in there, right? It's actually in there, such and such, they don't admit to any kind of liability. So it's just a pro forma thing, right? But it didn't reveal that she didn't defame Toddy. It just was, okay, we're going to settle and we're going to say that, we're not admitting to anything wrongdoing. Both of the parties. So where does this revelation come from? When you say revealed, this means facts and evidence. This means facts came out that were determined by a court of law that there was no defamation. That never happened because it got thrown out for jurisdiction issues. This is Katie outright lying, or at least highly manipulating the situation to where I'm going to call it outright lying. Do you guys see the difference? It was not revealed. The settlement did not reveal anything. It's just a pro forma statement that I'll bet you money that's in there that says both parties, neither party admit to any kind of wrongdoing. That's it. That is it. Because in order for it to be revealed that she didn't defame Toddy, there needs to be a finding of evidence. There needs to be a finding of something in the court record. Because I just can't see Toddy going, oh yeah, she never defamed me. I like to see that settlement agreement then. Because I'm calling bullshit. And if I'm wrong on that, I'll apologize, but I call bullshit. There is no bad blood, and mediation helped us tremendously. Yeah, I don't believe that for a second. No bad blood. Yeah, I don't buy that for a second. All right. Let's go back here. Again, out of order, and I'll go back to these. The other two, okay, I think this is continued. The other two lawsuits are in the process of discovery and are working towards resolution soon. They're not going to be resolved soon. I will tell you right now, I firmly believe that 7M and 7C, which is Todd Chrisley's production company, they're going to go all the way. They're going to go to trial. They're not going to be resolved, especially 7M. 7M has the best case, bar none. 7M is going to eviscerate her, metaphorically speaking. Financially speaking, I am convinced of this. If I'm wrong, then yeah, of course, it's commentary, right? I'll be like, yeah. Based upon what I know at this moment, that's what I believe. Could that change later on? Sure, but I'm just giving you what I believe. I believe that is going to. They're going to win $1 million, or at least six figures. I don't know what the cap is for punitive damages in Minnesota, but they are going to win, and they're going to win big. They've got a hell of a case. Like I said, my lawyer went over the 7M case. Costs money to do that, by the way. It's not free. And that we had to do an analysis. And yeah, 7M has a hell of a case. So I don't know where she gets this idea that it's just going to be it's going to be go away and resolved soon when they've got 2 hearings coming up for the motion to dismiss on her countersuits. So I don't know the exact dates. Yeah, Justin says no bad blood between her and Toddy, right? LOL. Right, Justin? I am sorry. I do not believe that. If Toddy Westbrook messages me and said, hey, Steve, I got no bad blood with her, then I'm going to believe it. Or Jesus Christ comes down and tells me himself, then I'm going to believe it. And that's it. Those two people, Jesus Christ and Toddy Westbrook, are the only two people that are going to convince me there's no bad blood between those two people. And even with Jesus, I might ask for evidence. Okay? So, yeah, does any of you believe that? Like, seriously, anybody? Just type 1 in the chat if you believe her, and 2 in the chat if you're like, hell no, you don't believe her. So 1, you don't believe her. 1 if you believe her and you think there's no bad blood. 2 in the chat if you think there is bad blood and you don't believe her. Okay? And by the way, please come in, Suzanne, whoever else. I'm all lonely in here. The chat is open. The link is in the video description above. Come on in. I'd like to get you guys' input. That's for all of you. Come on in. It holds 6 people. So she says, neither lawsuit has valid claims as the information and reporting I did was based upon public records, public statements, and interviews with sources. Bullshit. The stuff she got, she has taken and changed to add her own little narrative to it. Now, I'll be reading a little thing that EKC people wrote that really just nails her modus operandi. I'm going to be showing, I already showed it a few times here, but I'll go back and read it because, again, not in order. But, yeah, she does get information from public sources and public statements, but then she throws in more BS. She goes beyond that. Just like she's accusing people of murdering their kids or attempting murder to their kids. That's not out there anywhere. She made that up. Or this whole blackmail stuff. No, she took that and ran with it. She claimed that she got a source from the show that said that they believed her and that Todd Chrisley was basically trying to, Lindsay, that's what it was, Lindsay Chrisley, trying to blackmail Lindsay Chrisley that if she doesn't cooperate and play ball, so to speak, during the FBI investigation, they're going to release a sex tape. That's on her. She didn't get that from anybody else. Who did she get that? Oh, a source called me from. Nobody. That's on her. She made that up. She went beyond anything relating to a sex tape, anything relating to the Dr. Phil show, which again was not exactly what she portrayed it in either. But when she says that she has a source that called her, then she's no longer relying on public records and statements and interviews. Well, she says interviews with sources. But what's the source? Hi, Suzanne.
Hey.
Ooh, you loud.
Let me back up.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm usually not that loud.
So do you remember the whole? I didn't watch the Dr. Phil episode. Do you remember though how she gleaned that from them and then she just kind of ran with it?
Which one? Which story? Because she gleaned a number of them and ran them with from Dr. Phil.
Okay, so originally there was supposedly a sex tape that Chris Chrisley had bought for $5,000, gave to his dad, and they were used to blackmail Lindsay Chrisley that if she didn't tell the authorities what they wanted, that they would release the tape. Now, the whole story is bullshit. And Lindsay Chrisley has made up.
The story is bullshit.
So
she wrote about this at Pathos. She wrote about it at Pathos and ran with it. I understand that it was not well liked. She ran with it. She wrote a bunch of stories about his sexuality, just crazy things about the Chrisleys. And I wasn't paying attention then. That was close to the end of her leaving Pathos. And I think that may have had something to do with it, as a matter of fact, because it was ugly and nasty and contentious at the end. But the Chrisley story, I didn't even pay attention to it. I didn't even know it was on Dr. Phil. Because her other thing from Dr. Phil was Jillian Epperly. That was the one that she used the Dr. Phil show again and again and again to glean information and run with the story.
Yeah, I remember that. That was with the Jilly Juice. But no, but the
Jilly sued her too. Jillian Epperly sued her. So you got to add that as another lawsuit, even though it was unsuccessful.
That was a jurisdiction issue as well.
Bingo.
Yeah. I'm trying to get my chat in here. I don't know why my chat wasn't working. Let me see if I can. Give me 1 second. So tell me about the tape though, because she ran with that story that there was that tape that Todd was blackmailing his daughter, when she says interview with sources, she's talking about a producer or somebody, because I know she said the word producer somewhere along the line. But
She did say that somebody in the crew alerted her to the story, and she said she was friends with Lindsay Chrisley too. So she also acted like Lindsay had given her the story. So exactly where the first appearance of this thing was, I can't even begin to
Lindsay
tell
says
you.
no, and by the way, they have all the communications between Lindsay and Todd, so they know that she did not tell her any of this stuff, and she's denounced Katie to no end. She even asked Katie to stop. She's like, "This is not true.
That too.
This is not true. Please stop," and she wouldn't do it. Which to me indicates that she knows she's full of crap and she doesn't care. She's going to put out misinformation regardless. Because when the person you're putting out information about says, no, this is not true, at that point you stop. You're like, oh, okay, I'm getting it from the source, like the actual source, saying this is not happening.
Well, you're supposed to.
Oh, that
doesn't.
That would require journalistic integrity for, best practices from a journalism school that she never went to, right?
Right, exactly. Like I said before, they couldn't even get her to read the best practices manual of Pathos. What choice do you think she would do best practices for something else?
Hang on a sec. I think I got it working. Let me check something in chat. So I'm not imagining that she said it was a producer at some time, right?
I don't think you're imagining, because I heard her say that too. And I think it wasn't in the paperwork. I thought there was something in the paperwork with the lawsuit where it mentioned a producer or a cast crew member.
Yeah, it was a producer first. There was some kind of cast member, but the point was that she was saying that this person agreed with them, and when the lawyers had asked her, we need the source, part of discovery. And the courts are going to determine she can't hide behind any kind of journalism or anything like that. She needs to give up the source because it's imperative to his case, because he has to show malice, and if he can show that she made it up, that's malicious, straight up malicious,
Right?
I think I've.
And I don't think she's going to be able to show who it is that gave her that information.
Because there was no such person.
Right, no such person. And I believe she was the one that actually told Lindsay that this story about Todd supposedly getting ready to blackmail her with a sex tape. She inserted herself in that whole thing. She knew they were having bad blood.
Okay.
At least that's my recall of it.
Yeah, that's my recollection of it as well. I'm trying to put this chat in here, but it's so small. Ugh. Hang on. Hang on. I almost got it. I like to have the chat for some reason. We'll just do it that way for right now. That's pretty cool, actually. I don't know if you can see the outside, but I just got a chat at the table, the whole screen. Whatever, man. Okay, so let's move on here. She says neither lawsuit has valid claims. Oh yeah, sorry, we had to do that one. So you think that's clearly BSing her audience. They are valid claims. These are absolutely valid claims.
Absolutely.
And 7M, I don't even know all the stuff that they've claimed. They claimed so many things. She claimed that he was running a cult. They claimed that basically they are financially strapped to him. I couldn't even list all the things that she accused that guy of, and he's not even a public figure.
I know. Now, I'm going to tell you something, though. His church is a little on the CULT side. I'm just going to throw that out there. They're linked with Bethel. They're linked with Hillsong.
And that might be true. And you sent me the stuff on Hillsong. I looked into that. That's some crazy shit.
Yeah, they're pretty crazy. And I know, because I used to go to a church that was linked with both of those churches. So there's some CULT things going on with his church. But what she was saying wasn't about the church so much as it was 7M, which is the corporation,
the dance group. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that is not the church. It's a totally different thing.
Yeah, that's defaming, because I think they did lose a sponsor because of her, which is tortious interference.
They lost more than one sponsor because of her. It was kind of funny, because I was initially talking to them, and then Robert Shin exposed that they were connected to Bethel Redding and to Hillsong, and I was like, block. Not going through that again.
Yeah, no,
I believes that crap. They're going.
I remember asking you for some Hillsong information. You sent me some stuff. I'm like, oh man, this is a deep dive. This is.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you said what I asked for, but I was like, well, you know those things you regret asking for after you ask it? That
Yes.
was it.
Yes. And it's funny because she likes to brag that she takes down CULTs. Well, why isn't she going after Bethel? Why isn't she going after Hillsong? They are huge and they have all the earmarkings of that. There are documentaries about both places in the works.
Well, let me ask you. You know, it's so funny you mentioned that, and we'll get back to what she wrote. She had said that she helps people get out of cults. I asked the audience, give me one name. Just one.
Not possible.
One name.
She hasn't.
Yeah. Nobody. She's not helped a single person. The only person that Katie Joy helps is Katie Joy. Period.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. And, at first I was really concerned because that's one thing I've done. I have had contact with so many people and talked to them as they're leaving, as they're processing, as they're screaming and hollering and carrying on and really falling apart through the years, like the last 10 years or so, 12 years. And I pray that none of them fall into her hands because that would be a really bad thing.
Oh, yeah. By the way, so April says she actually said someone involved in the production, which could have been the producer or craft services or anything in between. Okay, that might be the case, right? Because, yeah, I mean, it
could be
production,
craft services.
Right. Yeah, she's not wrong. I mean, so it could be. I don't know, but she did say it was a source with the show, and that's all that matters. That's the critical part where you can prove malice because if you go out of your way to fabricate a story, that's malicious. And that's what the criteria would be to win a lawsuit when you are suing somebody as a public figure.
Right.
Which she's countersuing him as a public figure. She has to prove malice. He's suing her as a public figure. He has to prove malice. First of all, she cannot even reach the thing of her malice, and she certainly cannot reach the status of he has even remotely defamed her at all, malicious or otherwise. He's done nothing. What is one thing that Todd Chrisley has done? That was constitutive of defamation in the eyes of law. Name one. Anybody?
Nothing. He's defended himself. He said a few things about her, but
nothing's defamatory. They're not defamatory.
They're not defamatory. Not at all. I'm kind of curious for you to get to the part that made me see red in the things you're seeing that has to do with the Chrisley thing.
Which
she
part?
Said something, one of the comments where she said she was going to find out who all had spoke to Todd Chrisley and she was going to see that they had consequences. Do you have that?
I have not heard this before.
Okay, I'm gonna have to scare this up and send it to you.
Let me put this on. Can I put you all dolled up? So can I put you on scene here?
Sure.
Yeah, I just gotta.
Not really dolled up.
I gotta. Just in case other people come in too. So fill me in on this because this is the first I've heard of this. Because a lot of people have talked to Todd and his lawyers. What does that have to do with anything? People can talk all they want.
Right. And she is saying she needs to find out who it was. Let me go back and look and see if I can find it.
What right does she have to ever find out that information?
She does not have that right.
I've talked to the lawyers. So what? That's public. But I mean, anybody else? She has no
to Todd Chrisley, and I freely admit I talked to Todd Chrisley. I'm not sure anything I had to say was helpful to him, but I did say it. And that stupid email we all got from her lawyer.
That was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for that. I felt bad.
Wanted any notes of any book I was writing. Well, I did say I was taking notes, but never said I was going to write a book. I guess he assumed that.
I have
and
no
any
idea.
Correspondence between you and I, and any correspondence with Katie Joy, and I had to tell him Katie Joy erased all the correspondence between her and I. She went into that messenger app and just erased it all. I know because I tried to go back and get it. So I think it's a scare tactic where she's trying to say she's going to go after everybody that talked to Todd, but that's her new thing she's saying again.
Why would that? First of all, I don't know what that means to go after. And
make sure they have legal consequences.
That would be interesting. I'd like to see what the legal consequences are.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm putting on.
Not
screen here.
sure, but it was part of one of the recent part of what you have. She actually said this.
And when
She
was this?
actually-
Because this is news to me.
This was
Just recent. By the way, like I said, I haven't been
recently. Okay.
I haven't really had my ear to the ground that much because I have a lot going on. I'm working now.
I know you
my
do.
daughter wasn't feeling well, I'm not as active as I once was, so I do apologize. There you go. Oh, look at that.
I'm looking for it now. It was something that was from earlier today in the in the anti-Katie Joy community on Reddit. They had all of the things you have and then a few more apparently.
Wait, that I have?
Yeah, the things you're reading right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, these, like I said, these were sent to me. So yeah, I don't go into the community. I'm not in any of these communities. I just got stuff sent to me.
Well, I went in there to see if anybody had it because there's one where she's defaming Charlotte here, where she's calling Charlotte names.
Yeah, but I don't know where she thinks she's going to get this list of names of people that have contacted anybody. That's completely. It's not even part of discovery. That's irrelevant to the lawsuit. Matter of fact, she's not privy to that kind of information. I don't think. I know. Well, the reason why? Not for any kind of legal things. There's nothing. Nobody should be worried about that. What I think is, she wants that information to harass people. That's why it's not going to be let out. She's literally saying, "I want this information so I can go after people to harass them." That's the way I'm interpreting this.
Okay, here it is. It was under number 5. They claim I'm a malignant narcissist and an existential threat to humanity.
Oh, wait. I don't have that one. I don't.
Okay, says. One sec. Oh, here we go. Here's the parts about other people.
Okay, one sec. Let me see if I can find this one because it says 5. I don't remember seeing a 5.
Okay, maybe you don't have this one.
All right. Read it again because I want to touch on that before I move on because there's something you said in there that I want to show how just absolutely unequivocally she lied. So she said she's an existential threat to content creators, correct?
Yeah, said they claim I'm a malignant narcissist and an existential threat to humanity.
Humanity, okay.
Like, humanity, not just creators, but to everybody on the planet.
All of you listening right now, this is an absolute way to show that Katie Joy lied. What this was referring to, which what she put in the TRO against me, is that I said that she was an existential threat to humanity. By the way, she didn't say existential, she said extensional. By the way, it was SIC, sick.
Well, this is the correct one. This is the existential.
But what I said was, and I have the screenshot to this, that she was an existential threat to content creators because she was falsely DMCA people.
Yeah.
She took that and she ran with that I meant as an existential threat because of your channel, right? To have her channel taken down. So I said she was an existential threat to. By the way, she doesn't use words like that. That came from me.
I know that. That's copied from somebody.
It's copied directly from me. It was in her lawsuit against me, or her TRO against me. She said that I said that she was an existential threat to humanity when I have the actual screenshot that says that she was an existential threat to YouTube creators because she was falsely DMCA people. Huge difference there. But see how she twisted that and ran with that?
Yeah.
This is a prime example of what she does.
It gets worse.
Do I could probably find that for you. I have it somewhere, but let me see if I can quickly find it. Go ahead. Continue.
She says, fact, I have gone through therapy and never been diagnosed as a narcissist. And I'm open that I have ADHD, anxiety, PTSD, and panic disorder, which is all treated.
Oops. Sorry about that. One sec. I lost her. I closed the wrong window looking for that screenshot. I'm coming back. Hang on. In 1 second. Oh, Flamo for $5 says, "Hail Eris, hail Satan, and hail Steve." Thank you. Sorry about that. My
This means
bad.
all communication has been requested between the parties suing me and the creators and trolls emailing me the false information about me. which these people published. If you have been doing this, we will soon know what was said and how it was orchestrated. Steve.
What does she think she's going to know? There's nothing to know. This is what's been put out so many times. It's just there's nothing to know.
There's exactly. And then she follows up. This is the one that pisses me off. A group of small creators on YouTube spam my followers with lies about me. They harass anyone I work with an effort to make them not work with me. They have successfully convinced numerous people of the lies, and they're forced others to bend to their bullying. YouTube is cutthroat. I keep it to myself.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring up these documents that have, if you can look on the outside, I have to probably fix this because it's not centered right. But I mean, I have all these documents that...
This is at the bottom of the one with CPS no longer responds to calls.
Yeah, but where's the one that I talk about it being an existential threat?
That's what I'm talking about. It's at the bottom of that.
No, but where is it in the documents that I have?
Oh, I don't know. I just
went.
I went to.
Where do I have that at?
I went over to Reddit. Where they always have the nastiest
somebody
stuff.
have it. I mean, all this information out there. I have a hard time finding it as we're doing this. But April Van Ryan says, "Hail Sagan, hail Santa, hail Santana, Santana." Yes, do Santana. I will find it eventually, but I guarantee it. I have it out there where, like I said, she's an existential threat to content creators, and she took that and changed it to existential threat to humanity. Outright lie. Outright lie. There's no evidence for that because she bullshitted.
Absolutely. That's her talent. She bullshits. And all that is because it sounds like she's saying these things to try to shut us down, those of us who have spoken to Todd and others. And they can't demand to know the sources and everything that was said. That is the most ridiculous BS on the planet.
Absolutely not. And even if she did it, it wouldn't do her no good. I will give her my entire hard drive. She can have everything. She can have all my passwords. I don't give a shit. The only thing that I would be worried about is other people because, I don't want people to go after other people. As far as me, I don't give a shit. There's nothing that I've written that's any help to her whatsoever. Nothing. I would love to have her hard drive.
Same. And when people watch her and she cuts away to her desktop, sometimes it's just some really interesting things like files with various people's names on them where she's collecting data.
I got a file.
Crazy.
I got a file named Katie or KJ. Yeah, I bet that. No,
I have one that says Katie Joy, insane person. Then I just put the nuttier things in.
I know I have a document that's in there. Oh, here. Remember, I just found this one. Katie Joy saying, "Still waiting to know why a gun is pointing at me." Thanks for Toddy Westbrook. But Toddy Westbrook had a little, ray gun with a crystal ball. She was talking about prognostication. She was talking about astrology, and Katie thought, "Oh, is this a death threat?"
Oh, she takes everything as death threats. It's really funny. It's like she hears something and the brain doesn't work right, and it completely scrambles it. And by the time that she decides what it says, it's something totally different.
I just really want to show people when I said, "Oh, I found it! I found it." So let me show it on. One sec. Copy. You just download it a bit easier because I want people to see this for a fact how she lied about what you just said because I don't have the fact 5 or whatever it is. At least I don't think so. I don't remember when I was reading these before I went on air. I don't recall seeing it.
That was the one that leapt out at me because the whole thing was such complete and utter BS stated just to shut people down. She's just trying to make everybody not talk.
Let me see if I can.
Yet again. Too late, Katie.
All right, I downloaded
Barn doors
it.
open. All the damn horses are gone.
Let me see if I can bring up my images. I downloaded it. Nope, I have to set it up again as a different. All right, here we go. Let me just do it this way. I want people to see this on this particular video, to see firsthand how she just manipulates what she sees and just changes it in a completely different narrative. So, image, add. Oh, that's not the right image. Ugh. Doing this stuff real time sucks, man.
It does. It really does. But this number 5 was the one that hopped out to me of all of this crap, because it's such a bizarre bit of fear mongering and shade throwing.
Oh, I just accidentally got rid of my chat.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I can't win. All right. Image. Add new source. Here we go. All right. I almost got it. There we go.
Good.
Now I got it. And I'll fix the chat here in a second. All right. So if you look on the outside, can you see that on the outside?
I can't see a darn.
All right. Well, anyways, it says news. Katie Joy Paulson is an immediate existential threat to all content creators. Same dishonest abuse of the DCMA system that flat earthers do to silence people. When someone asks why we expose her, show them this tweet. My video was fair use and she abused the DMCA process. That's what she's referring to. She took that as an existential threat to all content creators to change it to make it sound far worse, because I was talking about their channels, right? I do philosophy. When I say existential threat to all content creators, I'm not talking about their existence. I'm talking about their channel's existence. What do you think DMCA does? It takes down channels, right? So I'm talking about their channels. It doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist or a PhD in philosophy to figure out what the hell I'm talking about. But she took that and she changed it to saying that, oh, Steve was threatened that I was, or said that I was an existential threat to, quote, humanity. That was in her TRO. That's an outright lie. Crazy. Outright fucking lie. There you have it. That's how you see how Katie operates. Right there. I mean, how does anybody want to defend her on this? Can anybody say that she did not lie? One person I like to say that she didn't lie on that. Anybody. Because clearly she did.
Good luck. I don't think you're going to find anybody to defend her.
Oh, I think I did find this one too. So she and I put it on screen. So having been diagnosed with anxiety, PTSD, and panic disorder, which is all treated by a doctor. In fact, the people who started these rumors had also accused me of child abuse and medical fraud, which are both false. Again, I have no idea if they're false or not. I've never accused her of that, though.
I've never seen anybody accuse her of medical fraud or Medicaid fraud.
Medicaid fraud, yes. Fraud. I have seen that.
Okay.
Yeah, I have seen that because people were saying if she's on certain systems that for a nurse and then she makes over a certain amount and reporting. But again, I know nothing about it. I'm not involved with it, and I don't care.
Yeah, same.
As long as the kid's getting...
I don't want to do anything that affects the child.
Right. And so I don't touch that. And so, no, I didn't accuse her about that. Now, she did, in fact, falsely accuse me of medical fraud.
Yeah, she did.
And there was no evidence of that whatsoever. And, of course, Kyle actually admitted that he basically made it up. I mean, he said in our confession that he had no evidence of that. So, go figure. Fact, due to 2 lawsuits with the Discovery, we're in the process of collecting and identifying all the people or then so I did find this, by the way. In communication with creators or reality TV stars about me to determine the source of the defamation as harassment. Huh, really? So
yeah, right.
Let's think about this. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm sure there's probably a lawyer going to be watching at some point. How is it that her communications when it comes to this affects her case with Todd Chrisley and 7M? What does anybody else have to do with them? Nothing. Discovery is limited. You cannot get Discovery for other things unrelated to your case. It doesn't work that way. Discovery is supposed to be limited in scope. They don't go for broad fishing expeditions, especially when it's irrelevant to your lawsuit.
Yep. And how does she know any of us said anything to Todd that was helpful at all? I mean,
why would it matter anyways? I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Without a lawyer says, can we delete our messages yet? I swear to God, when I saw that they put out a preservation order for messages for all these people, I'm like, okay, what the hell? First of all, there's nothing in there. Second of all, what are you asking to be preserved? She did. That was so poorly written and such copy pasta
Right.
that it had no. Any lawyer would have gone, no, this is stupid. This is you're not giving specificities of what you're trying to preserve. You know, you don't have to preserve everything.
Come back with a court order through a Costa Rican court, and I will obey at that point. That's what I said.
Absolutely. Here's my file. Go ahead. I sent my entire data to my lawyer. My downloaded. I gave it all to my lawyer, and you know, whatever. I don't care. Nothing in it.
Nothing in it.
And you know, what's funny is Alex Jones' lawyer sent, you know, the phone conversations to the prosecuting attorney, right? Which is hilarious, which might be malpractice. But, you know, if my lawyer was a fuck up like that and do it, I'd be like, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. You probably like me. You don't have anything that exciting on your computer or your phone or your iPad or whatever anyway.
Susan, you've seen the level of conversations we have. How exciting are they? Come on.
That's what I laughed when he said all your conversations with Steve McRae, and I was like, okay, you're going to be really bored.
Look, I don't do this often, but with you, if you wanted to put out every one of our conversations, be my fucking guest.
Yeah.
I couldn't care less.
They're that mild anyway. So I just told them go up with a court order, and I'll do it because it's ridiculous.
What does she think? What does she think is going to be in there?
I don't know. I guess she thinks I'm giving you directions on how to build a bomb and put it under a house or something stupid like that.
I was a nuke, you know. April Von Ryan, $5 Canadian, says that would be that which shall not be named as a piece of shit. I'm honestly sick of her. Please end her career. Look, I have no control over her career. YouTube was supposed to do some actions, but YouTube has. Look, I want to tell you something. There was a YouTuber just recently that MC Toon had pointed out that made an actual terrorist domestic threats. They had reported this particular video. It's a flat earther, and they were going out and advocating violence, actual advocating violence. I reported the video. I got a hold of, you know, Google directly because you know over 10,000. I said, look, nothing's being done. This video is actually promoting domestic terrorism. I have the chat log from it. They said, okay, we'll you know, escalate it and put it up there. The video's still up. I shit you not.
That's crazy.
Shit you not. That video is still there. And this person is not just being hyperbolic. They are literally advocating going out and causing harm to people.
Yet they pulled Real Entertainment News' channel over much less than that.
I can't stand Ren, but you know, he cuts his own, you know, throat, so to speak, metaphorically speaking.
He does.
But
he does.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that YouTube did not take any action. So it's like, okay, I just don't think they care. They're going to go after people that do nothing wrong for some reason. But I know where the line is too. I've never had any TOS violation whatsoever. Nothing could be construed as being harmful from this channel. I'm just reading and commenting on it. That's it.
Yeah, and I've never had any problems with them either. I mean, really, even when we're discussing this exact kind of crap.
Yep. Okay, so she says, this means all the communication has been questioned between parties suing me and the creators and trolls mailing the false information about me, which is the people published. Okay, go ahead. Look, go ahead. If she wants all my communications with the attorneys, that's up to them. I don't have attorney-client privilege with them. I couldn't care less. I don't care, but it doesn't help her lawsuit.
No. And it has nothing to do with her lawsuit.
Nope. Nope.
That's what I found out after I got all that crap about, save these conversations because we're gonna get a court order and get them. Like, go ahead, fine, get your court order. The thing I was really concerned about was they wanted my notes.
Yep.
And I don't think anybody has a right to anyone's notes that they're taking notes on their computer. No right whatsoever.
Unless you and her were suing each other directly, and in order for her to prove her case, those notes were relevant. But even then, it's be very, very limited scope.
Yeah, very limited scope.
Yeah. So this is just bullshitting. It doesn't work like this. They can't just say, we want these content creators' information. The lawyers and people involved, they're not going to have to turn over anything like that. It's not privileged communication, but they're not required to turn over anything. You can't force somebody that says, I'm going on a fishing expedition. What you have to say is, this person, Suzanne, I believe has this particular, thing that would help my case because she has said this, blah, blah, blah. Another person has, there needs to be substantive evidence to show that your communications are going to be directly relevant. There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah. So, but this is a scare tactic is all it is.
Just like those stupid emails
Yep.
were. I like the fact that most of us got together and did song
That was hilarious.
responses. That was hilarious. I hadn't laughed so hard in months.
That's still talked about. Red's is still video is hilarious.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That was hysterical.
And she says, if you've been doing this, we will soon know what was being said and how it's orchestrated. Bullshit. I will go on record right now. I will tell you right here and now. I will believe that when I see it. I will throw the bullshit flag. I will bet somebody. I'll bet somebody cash on this. This is never going to happen. Minor amount, right? You know, but I mean, it's more of a principle thing. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
No.
And again, who gives a shit if it did? All right, this way I can move on.
I would just be bored reading through all that crap.
I gotta put back my chat. Do you guys want the chat on the screen or not? Let me know. I don't think it really matters, does it? It captures in the side. It just looks cooler. All right. Let's see here. Where are we at? Means all communication and requests between the parties suing me and the creators and trolling email have false information about which it's these people published. If you've been doing this, we shall know. Oh, okay, that's the same one. A lie can travel halfway around the world between the truth is putting on its shoes. Mark Twain. Don't be quoting Mark Twain. Mark Twain would be your enemy in life. Okay, Katie. But yeah, this is complete bullshit. All right, so let's read some of these things that people had written here. Because again, I didn't read these too much. But this person, Jerry, says, I gave them the link to your post. I wanted them to see that the truth wins even if it takes time. Okay, well, I hope the truth wins. They have several cases closed with CPS because they were not doing anything wrong. It's got to be pure jealousy that would be cause the report unsubstantiated claims. There's just nothing else that makes sense. I always form my own opinions of people. You have handled this well. Just like your reporting, you've handled this situation with integrity. What? What?
Is this person an LSD?
This is why people think that she might make fake accounts to like bolster herself. Nowhere, no one would ever use the word integrity relationship to Katie Joy. Nobody. No, it doesn't happen.
Nobody. No.
And so I just don't think these people are aware of her history, or they just don't care, because this is bizarre. And she says, Katie Joy says, well, some parts are still happening, but eventually all the players in the situation will be exposed. That's been going on for 3 years. I remember 3 years ago, she was saying, oh my God, they're going to shut down the Facebook group. All the players involved with the Facebook group are going to be exposed. Still active.
I know it isn't. I know it is.
Not one person from 3 years ago. This is the same modus operandi. She's fear mongering.
Yeah, exactly. She's fear-mongering. She's trying to shut people down from talking about her, which is what she's been doing for forever.
Yeah, she doesn't
Because, like
scare
I said, when I knew her on Pathio, she was constantly running her mouth about people who were threatening her or out to get her, naming names. And recently, she streamed with Sherelle, and I really laughed because Sherelle's World was somebody that she had knocked heads with.
She was going to sue Sherelle. Right.
So she's going to sue her.
So she has a countersuit against me, but not one against Sherelle, and Sherelle has the money?
Yeah, I know.
But now they're buddy or something? And Sherelle had the lawyer that went against. Here's what I don't understand. Sherelle's lawyer was Michael Sauce, who was after Katie. I don't get it.
It's crazy town out there. I'm telling you. It's just mind-boggling.
So this is what Aaron had written about Katie, and it just sums up completely. So let me read this to you and let me know. What did I lose you? Oh, okay. No. All right. What do you think about this? She says she finds a situation she wants to exploit. She circles it, testing the perimeter with her foot, looking for a weak spot. The more resistance at first means the more angry she gets. Once she finds a weakness, she shoves her foot through it, takes hold, worms her way through the barricade. Then once inside, she quietly drops a grenade, then runs the fuck away. She watches for it to blow up, and then races back to pick up all the pieces like a vulture so she can put it back together in the way she wants it to be. She then proclaims herself to be the savior of those who perished in the explosion, but because without her, they would be hated and forgotten. They also would be in one piece, but it's of their own damn fault for giving Katie resistance to begin with. You can substantiate the word situation for any person. Oh, excuse me. You can substitute the word, quote, situation for any person, place, thing, or relationship, and the entire pattern will be made the same. Oh my God. Does Erin have a PhD in psychology and therapy?
I don't know.
Because this
She must
nails
be
it.
reading psychology today because that nails it. That's what she is.
I couldn't ask for a better summation of Katie Joy. This is it. This is it. This is it. Put this out everywhere. Put this out everywhere. This is Katie Joy. In a nutshell. I mean, I that's brilliant. She throws in a grenade, goes in there, puts the pieces back together in the story the way she wants it. She's the savior. And she's done this in every single case where she doesn't get the facts right. She blows up the situation. She involves herself in the community. They all recognize that she's a trauma vulture. And then they kick her out. And she's like, but I'm the savior. I'm the one trying to help you.
I prefer the term trauma vampire. Because she feeds on this. And she does get some kind of charge by everything going on. Just watch her sometime. Watch the glee in her face when she's discussing the CP that Josh Duggar was looking at. Just those sort of things that a normal person would be like this. She's gleeful over them.
It wasn't until pretty recently I actually watched that clip. I think it was Llama Girl. I knew of it, but I actually was watching. I mean, mortified doesn't begin to describe. I mean, yes, you're right. She gets some kind of light out there because she was going into graphic detail that didn't need to be gone into at all.
Yeah,
just not. And I'm sorry,
Absolutely.
but if it was my kid that she was talking about like that, yes, I'd be very offended. Because you don't need that graphic detail. People understand. People are not fucking idiots. They don't need Katie Joy to explain what digital penetration is.
No, they don't.
You just don't need it. You don't fucking need it. She does it because it's salacious. She does it because it's shock value. She does it because I think she enjoys it. Period.
She did a breakdown of Daisy's destruction that made me think that she had watched the film.
She said she did.
Yeah, no. And why is Josh Duggar in jail for watching it and she's
because
not?
She's a journalist, I guess. She actually had said, from what I understand, she got it off the dark web or something like that. And then she said she could find it on YouTube. Somebody has said that she could find it on YouTube or something. And I'm like, whatever.
No, there's descriptions of it on YouTube.
Well, she was saying that you could find it on YouTube, which would have been, I think, to me, a violation of terms of service if she did say that.
Obviously.
But yeah, so she actually went out of her way to find it and watch it, and she's trying to put it out. She watched it for like journalistic research purposes. Bullshit. First of all, there are law enforcement officers that have to watch that shit for their job. I get that, and I'm sure that they need therapy for it. I mean, in fact, I think they have to go to mandatory counseling every so often. I think they have to have. I mean, you would have to. I'm sure that they have to have mandatory guidance because that stuff would fuck with you. I'm sure it would. But she goes out of her way to do it, and she's not under any color of authority to have some kind of special permission to be able to view certain things. They, under the color of authority for legal purposes, they are. She's not. She can't just say, "Oh yes, I watched this because of research." First of all, why would you want to? I mean, why would you want to? And second of all, she did the same thing he did. He's in jail for it. Why is she not being prosecuted for it?
I don't know. Good question. And I just looked at it. You can download descriptions from YouTube.
I don't even want that. I don't even want a description.
No, I don't even want that either, but I'm just saying.
The limited what I heard about it was enough for me.
Scully, has his own YouTube channel where he apparently has an ad for it. So why would you look at that? What kind of sicko does that?
Well, again, I think you're right. I think she does get some kind of weird, twisted enjoyment out of it. Simple as that. And that's my opinion.
She must.
My opinion. But the fact that she went.
Opinion too.
Let's look at the facts, though. She went out of her way to find it, and she did say that she watched it. Those are facts and evidence.
Yep.
So. I don't think I've got much else. Let's see here. There's a couple of things she says. One person here says, I've seen so many YouTubers go against and making videos talking about you. Well, they should. When people are putting out this type of information to harm people, yes, I believe there should be responses. And I do it about once a month, maybe twice, but I mean, I don't do it that often. There's other things I'd much rather be talking about. But I think this was important because when somebody sent this to me, and I'm like, look, she's trying to spin this again. I'm going to call it out again. I know Renell does. I know you do. I know other people in the community does. And we're going to put it out there so when people want to go find the facts, they can. I watched some, but felt that they were never real evidence of what they say about you. Really? Well, I just gave evidence that she's talking about her being an existential threat to humanity when that's not what was said. What I said was she was an existential threat to content creators because misusing the DCMA. That's not evidence?
Apparently not.
What
Apparently not for some folks.
The fact that we've gone through and all the 29 statements she had said on her affidavit for her false TRO against me, 28 of them had issues? I think like one of them was like, okay, yeah, I'll grant that one. But the rest, I mean, every one of them was manipulated and just bullshit. I still kept watching. I like your reporting. Watch who the fuck you want to watch, but don't watch somebody and then try to say that, oh, there's no evidence against them. That when it's blatant that they lied. I did notice that as soon as that another content creator likes you or recognizes your work, they start to bully them into not liking you or agreeing with you. Nobody gives a flying fuck about that. Look, again, Katie started on my channel, so I'm at ground fucking zero. If people want the fucking facts, they can come to me. Suzanne's been around for a hell of a long time. They can go to her. We're too OG.
I helped launch her at Pathos. I know a lot about her that from that time.
Yeah. So and why wouldn't they not come to us if they want the information? And people have.
Exactly.
I'm not saying they haven't. But somebody
she
like
says
this.
I'm a crazy stalker. Oh. I'm not a crazy stalker. I know her. I know this woman. I've seen these things for a long time about her. I knew she was a problem even before you ever contacted me, Steve.
Well, and fun fact, she was kicked off Pathos. They removed all her blog. She lied about taking her blog with her because they own the copyright. So, yeah, people want evidence, but when they get evidence, they don't seem to care about it. They don't go to the people who have evidence. They don't go to, I mean, yes, some people have gone to me, but for the most part, something like this, not going to come to me, not going to come to you.
No, of course not.
Yeah. And there are bullies, and sadly, some of them claim to be Christians. Well, I'm not Christian, obviously, but I mean, it shouldn't matter whether you're a Christian or not a Christian. What should matter is that you have the ability to go out and try to find these things, whoever this person is. And they haven't. They clearly haven't, because they haven't contacted me. I have all the evidence against this, Katie. I have all the evidence I need. And Katie says, yeah, that's exactly what they do. I don't work with other content creators because nobody would want to work with you. Nobody wants to work with Katie. I do have a great contact in the media and entertainment industry, which helps me in my reporting. You are not a reporter. You don't do reporting. And
she doesn't have any contacts. She makes stuff up. I can tell you that. She makes stuff up. She pulls it out of her rear end.
Yep. This person says,
she extrapolates old rumors. That's the other thing she's good at.
She recycles them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're intimidating, and that she tells the truth. Oh, no, she does not. I will tell you right now, I will put everything I own. I put my life on this, that she is dishonest. I mean, how is it you think that this person thinks that she tells the truth when all these people have shown evidence that all she does is goes into these communities, harms them, and then profits from it?
No clue. No clue how they could be that blind and that deluded. But what's really weird is when they wake up and come out of it and they become angry with her and flip to us.
That's a good point.
It's a sad thing because a lot of times they're going off the deep end at her and they're wanting to do stuff that's like, no, we don't do that. That's her, darling. We don't go real life. We don't do this. We don't do that.
Exactly. Thank you. And that's a good point, because there's been some newer people coming around that, again, I don't want to deal with new people unless they're vetted. And I mean, but vetted is that I don't want to, like, first of all, just an avatar. I want at least to know this is an actual person. Like you, I know you. You're an actual person, right? I'm not saying that I have to dox somebody, but I'm not taking the chance by these no-name names that are just spewing nonsense or spewing things they cannot substantiate. I have to have evidence.
Yeah, there's somebody that was on Facebook that got very angry with me because they were making some allegations against her, and I said, I have to see receipts before I'll believe you.
Yeah.
Just because we've been through so much in this community, and it's somebody that was recent, and I think they might have. I saw a little bit about what they were talking about, and I think they might actually have something. But like I said, receipts or
that might be
not
true.
A thing.
That might be true, but we have to emphasize: don't be throwing
receipts.
Out allegations.
Yeah,
without evidence. Allegations. Yeah, don't be doing.
All you're doing is feeding the persecution complex and her victimology. That's it. You're giving her fodder.
But a lot of people think that that's what people want to hear. Oh, I'm just going to like make shit up. Don't ever make shit up. But if you do have an argument, you do have you think a valid thing about the person, gather as much evidence as you can, then bring forward, or at least maybe ask somebody for advice. Hey,
And don't go real life. Don't
never.
start calling CPS on her. Don't do that stuff.
I'm
do not do that crap.
I'm so pissed off that so many people have gone in real life with her that's affected other people, because I never went real life with her. Tina did. All we ever did to defend ourselves. That's not going in real life.
I never went real life with her either, and
Never
I
once.
never would. Yeah, we're the ones that are blamed for a lot of this crap with her, and it's ridiculous because we're not the ones going real life.
Yep. And like I said, I haven't followed the whole Vaughn McRae thing very much, or the Molly Golightly. I know that she's been talking to Leslie Bass, and I guess Katie's trying to bring up old drama with Leslie now.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another one I want to go through here in a second. Mrs. Kara says she steals content even down the thumbnails. Yeah, I know. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a thing about the fundraisers and about her modeling her home. She says, I took out a loan against my 401k to purchase this home due to my son's health, and previous home was very old with bad windows, drafts, insulation. Lived on a tight budget for years, managing his care and paying off the loan. The problem was again, she's actually, but her countersuit against me says that I charged her with fraudulent doing fundraisers, which, by the way, she has no evidence for, because that's not what happened. What I said was there's some questionable things, and that I was looking into it. That's it. That's it. First of all, there's no malice there. I'm allowed to look into things. And second of all, she said that I had said that she was raising, for doing fraudulent fundraisers, when all I said was for her Ronald McDonald Charity House, there was two major issues with this. One, you have to be working with the Ronald McDonald Charity House. They have to actually give you permission to do a fundraiser. They need permission from them directly. And two, she had to go into her own PayPal. Huge red flag. Huge red flag.
Huge red flag.
Right. And everybody has a right to question those things. So she took that in. Oh, Steve's accused me of running a fraudulent fundraiser. First of all, she would have to show malice. How is it malicious for me to say, how, look, one, she didn't get their approval, and two, it goes to her PayPal. That's not malicious. There's no malice there. I'm not lying about those. Those are two facts and evidence.
Yeah, and there's nothing malicious about looking into fundraisers, because some of them are fraudulent and some of them are perfectly legitimate. But how do you know that unless you make a determination?
Yeah,
no way.
She just threw that against the wall. It's like, come on. And then say four. They claimed I fraudulently set up a fraudulent fundraiser for Ronald McDonald Charity House. But again, she didn't get approval from them. Go look. You need their approval. Fact, the fundraiser was initially set up on PayPal through the giving platform to her personal PayPal. That's a fact. Then it was moved to GoFundMe, where Ronald McDonald was a direct beneficiary of the fundraiser. Without their approval, none of the money went to me. GoFundMe allows for charity raises. Okay, again, you need their approval. And two, where's the receipts? Did she ever show where the money went? Nope.
Not as far as I know.
Not as far as I know either. Yeah, there's no money trail there. No receipts.
Very, very suspicious, the whole thing.
And by the way, this was the fifth one. I did get this, but I must have skipped. I don't remember reading this part. They claimed I was a malignant narcissist and existential threat to humanity. Again, I only got these today, and I read through them really quickly, so I apologize.
Well, the fifth one was the one that blew me away, because she started talking about going after whoever was talking to the people in the lawsuit.
Yep.
You can't do that. It's called witness intimidation.
Yep. Absolutely. Exactly. And by the way, so right here it says, they claim I'm a malignant narcissist. I do claim that. That's a fact. I do claim that. I believe that very strongly, that she's a malignant narcissist. I'm entitled to my opinion. I'm not a professional. I'm not giving a professional opinion. I'm just giving my layperson's opinion. That's you can do that. That's not slander.
She ticks the boxes.
All of them. Every single fucking one of them. There's three main types of narcissists. There's the high functional narcissist, the malignant narcissist, and the covert. Okay?
Yeah.
Kyle was a high functional. She's a malignant.
And I've known a few covert ones.
I know a few too. Yeah, coverts are extremely dangerous too, because they want to be your bestie, right? They want to be your bestie, but they're stabbing you in the back the entire time. Yep.
They're just gathering evidence while they're being your bestie. That's it. Yep.
Been there, done that. So yes, I do know a few of those. So when she says, though, they claim I am a malignant narcissist and an existential threat to humanity. Again, let's check that. Let's check that out.
Humanity, everyone on the planet, really?
Let's check this out. Let's do a fact check here, because I'm bringing it up on the outside. You can see it again for the people. Oh, you know, I forgot. I put it as a different image. Here we go. Here you go. There you go. If you're watching the outside news, Katie Joy Paulson is an immediate existential threat to all content creators. Same dishonest abuse of the DCMA system that flat earthers do to silence people. When somebody asks why we oppose her, show them this tweet. My video was fair use and she abused the DMCA process. She literally took that as evidence in her TRO against me to say that I had claimed that she was an existential threat to humanity. Those were her words in her TRO, in her affidavit, that I said she was an existential threat to humanity. So she's lying to her audience right now. She's talking about me here, lying, saying that, oh, they claim. They is me here. And it's a lie. It's an outright freaking lie.
Yeah.
Now, I
said,
I didn't have,
here's things to twist them.
I didn't have it ready to show her TRO against me. I didn't have it, but it's in there. If you want to go, if you don't believe me that she says in her TRO that I said she was an existential threat to humanity, go watch Erin's video. She has all the evidence for that. But people know, they've seen it. They've seen it. So.
Yeah.
I don't think I really need to show that at this point. It's been shown many times. So yeah, she absolutely lied about that. So let's kind of like wrap it up. But let me ask my audience. I mean, what do you guys think about these people that are just saying that Katie's just so honest and she's all this other stuff when we've been showing time and time again how she lies? What else can we do as content creators to point out that she lies? I know Renelle has a video out today and I didn't fully understand it and I apologize. Again, a lot going on. But I know that she, I guess, lied when it came to the McRae situation, the Von McRae situation. But I don't know the details on it. I know she was caught red-handed lying again, but I don't have the facts.
She was saying that the ex-husband's friend was wanting her to do a fundraiser for the ex-husband to get custody of Dre McRae's kids, I think, because I watched that too, but I've been kind of under the weather today, so I'm just now crawling out of the bed.
I hope you feel better. I had a sore I had a sore throat the other day. I got these little whatever vapor stuff, but I mean, I was like, oh my god, my roommate, as you know, Kano, did have COVID, and so I was like, oh my god, I got it. So I took a rapid test a while ago, and it was negative. And so I've just been like, no, I don't want to get COVID. And it went away the next day. So it wasn't that bad. So I was like, okay, I didn't get COVID. Then of course, a week later, my daughter tells me
immediately.
and then my daughter gets COVID and I'm like, oh man. And she was like, I threw up 6 times today. I hate being sick. And I'm just like, oh God, it's just like melting. Just helping her, take fluids and Pedialyte and she was taking ibuprofen.
Yeah, I thought I was having the flu. I never even thought about testing for COVID. I just thought I had the flu.
She's like, it is the flu. Well, it's the flu symptoms, but she did take a test and they popped positive. So, yeah. But I guess, the next day, a couple days ago, she was just like, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better. And I was like, well, good. Your body's fighting the infection. So I'm over that worry stage,
Yeah.
So let's leave it with this. So this one follower says, Pamela McNeil, says, I'm a new follower. And this is to Katie. I found you through Von's case. I came in totally blind to anything that had been in anyone's past, which could be the case, right? I had never heard of any creator before this. This has allowed me to observe and choose who I felt was more suited for me. I immediately loved the way you made reports. They allowed me to get all the updates in a very structured method rather than sorting through 5 hours long lives.
Ooh, shade.
No, this is to Katie. This is one.
I know, but not at Katie, but it's other creators like Molly Go Lightly
that do 5 hours. Yeah, I don't watch her, Molly, but and Molly's never reached out to me. I have nothing against Molly.
Yeah, I watch her in bits and pieces, and because I'm not really that interested in the Marvon McRae story. It's sad.
It's sad.
The family just needs to be left alone to do their mourning.
I hate people
healing on their own.
It's fine to report on things, but I'm sorry, but Katie's using it as a vehicle for income.
Right,
and
right.
I can't.
Are private people. They're not celebrities. So why are we even going there with these people?
It should not be. It should not be out. It's one of those things. Talk about and then move on. But she's kept it going, perpetuate it because she's getting views from it, and the views are turning into money. And to her, money isn't everything. To understand Katie, money's power to her. That's it.
Yeah, money is power
It's
to her.
all about power with her. That's it. But yeah, this person, Pamela, clearly does not know her history. I'm not, and by the way,
Clearly.
this is not to contact anybody. Don't ever do anything like that. I'm just sure somebody's going to go, oh, we should contact them. No, don't ever contact them.
No, leave that poor gal alone.
Let people
They'll
come
find
to
out.
let people come to us on their own time, right? Because they do find out. We've had a lot of people go, hey, look, I watched her shit, then I realized you guys were right, and now I'm no longer a viewer. That's what we want. Organic, right? And then this person says in the live chat, Christine says, I wish her subs would wake up. I'm at a loss of how to make them see that she's a liar. I don't know. I'm a loss too. Because the one thing is we just don't have the platform. The people that do have the bigger platforms, I'm sorry, but they don't put out the right information. The people that could make a change don't. They don't. And they don't get their facts right either sometimes.
Exactly.
You know?
And they don't correct themselves. That's one thing I don't like.
Look at
It's
Sherelle.
one thing to make a mistake and then say, hey, I made a mistake. This is the real information.
Yep.
That's one thing. But to just continually.
Look at Sherelle. Sherelle could have had a direct line to me and have the facts, but nope, she got shit wrong. And then she's buddying up with Katie.
Same.
Yep.
I tried to reach out to her too when Katie was saying all this shit
Oh,
about her.
Katie was scared. Katie was
blew me
scared.
off.
Katie was scared because she knew I'd reach her audience through Sherelle, and she was absolutely right about that. You know? And obviously there's problems with Leslie. So I'm not going to go on Leslie's channel, although I have nothing against Leslie. We've patched things up. And I know Katie's going after Leslie again and getting shit wrong. She was actually saying that, she had framed her and that she was accused of falsely striking her channel. No, I have all the evidence that she did strike her channel. It's just what she got as a punishment for it. That's questionable. But bridge, it's water under the bridge kind of stuff. I mean, Leslie's a small fish compared to Katie. So, I mean, like I said, I patched things up with Leslie. I got no problem with Leslie. I wish her the best. But, I'm not going to go on her channel. I'm not going to go on Molly's channel because Molly doesn't know me. There's no way for me to get my information out other than all you. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Sam's the same way. To get her information out, you guys need to convey it. That's it. We don't have big channels.
It, yeah.
And I'm not going to talk about her on Non Sequitur Show, which is a bigger channel, but that's not what that channel's for.
No.
It's bad enough to have to talk about Kyle on that channel, even though like Rez was like, oh, that goes on your own channel. Don't put it on Non Sequitur. But I'm like, people have a right. People have a right in following this. I think it should be a Non Sequitur topic, and it worked out well. But other than that, I don't want to do that shit on Non Sequitur like Kyle did. I want quality stuff on Non Sequitur.
Right. You don't want just eyeballs once or twice for freakiness. You want a steady, steady growth.
Right. And I haven't been able to. I have a lot of people that I've talked to. I've got shows in the works, but coordinating it, it's been rough.
That's a problem. I know.
It's been rough. All right. So I'm going to let you go. I know it's an hour ahead of your time. I'm
later.
I'm going to wrap this up, guys. I want to appreciate you guys watching this. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Leave comments in the comment section. And more importantly, share Suzanne's stuff, share my stuff, share Winnell's stuff, share Llama Girl stuff on Twitter. Get the messages out there because these people that I've shown right here, eventually they might see something and go, oh, maybe I want some more information. Tell them to come talk to me because again, people are pointing out some other content creators, but you got two of the OGs right here that know more about the situation than anybody. Me, here's the OGs. Me, Suzanne, and Tina. And maybe even Erin to some degree. She came in later, but she knows a lot. So I'm going to put her. So those
Erin
four
came in when Katie was in the anti-vax community, and I remember that because that was going on when she was at Pathos.
Oh, so that's true. Yeah,
Erin.
Good point. I forgot about that. Yep. So those are originally the four OGs that have been around for a very, very long time. So if you want to know the facts, we will give you the facts. We will give you the evidence. All right. For that, guys. Good night.
Night.